Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast of the NBA playoff of the Too Good to Be True podcast. I'm your host Pascal Mayala. The second round of the game one is already ended, have completed. So we're gonna talk about it. Make sure also to follow me on social media on Instagram Pascal underscore Mayala underscore 15 on my also on my Facebook, Pascal Mayada. Also on my ex formerly Twitter, Belly versus PMM. So all my social media will be linked in the description. Also, listen to this podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to this podcast on my YouTube channel, Too Good to Be True Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, notify, and leave your comment on my video. Let's get right to it right now. So game one of the second round of the semifinals. So we start with the Philadelphia 76ers versus the New York Knicks. Great win for the New York Knicks, 137 to 98. And so let's look at a little bit the stat, a little bit about the stat. So let's start with Philadelphia. All the five starting lineup had double digit. Like Joel Embiid got 14.4 rebound. Paul George 17.3 rebound, 3 assists. Kelly Oubre 12 points. VJ has come 12 points. Terry Maxey at 13 points. Compared to the New York Knicks, um, James Bronson 35 points. Mikael Bridges 17 points. Carl Anthony Towns 17 points. OG Anunoby 17 points. Actually, all those two teams starting five have double digits. So what am I thought about this game? So yes, it's game one. So I'm not over exaggerating uh, this series, this game one or game two, as you already watched. So I'm gonna analyze it next time game two between the Knicks and the 76ers. But 130, I mean, like I said, 130. I think it was 137 to 98. Look, I expected like that because the Philadelphia 76 just came back to a win for a game seven against Boston Celtics. So I'm not really too much surprised because of that. And also it's fatigue. Because if you play in a game seven and and you got to go to the next night to train, plus you got a game after that, you probably gonna get dismantled. But I'm not gonna go or react because of a game one. Did I say 139? I said 137. I said 137. My bad. My apologize. Like I said, just because they got dismantled in game one, it doesn't mean that the next game will be close. That doesn't going to be that distant. So it could be a close game. So I'm probably gonna say probably I don't know. I don't think the Knicks will sweep them because it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be a good series. So next game, the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the San Antonio Spurs. Great win for the Timberwolves, 104 to 102. So Minnesota lead 1-0. A close game. I might have a pretty much a close game that I saw. I mean, it was pretty much a back and forth game. So and so it was very close. Then the middle, so the Timberwolves came back, and that was a hell of a match. Even though I said this, um, in some game you can have a bad game and the game is close. Sometimes you can have a good game and the game can be very close. So let's start with the stats. So let's start with the Timberwolves. So Julius Randle, 21 points, 10 rebound. Jaden McDaniel, 16.5 rebound. Rudy Gobert, 7.10 rebound. Shannon Jr., 16 points. Mike Conley, 12 points. Nas Reed, 12 points. And Anthony Edwards, came back from the bench and come by an injury. Had 18 points. So I know why they put him on the bench. It's not for a punishment because he came back from an injury. So we don't know the condition if it is if he's going to be on the starting lineup or he's going to stay on the bench. So we don't know that, in my opinion. For the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, 11 point and 50 rebound. Devin Vessel, 14 point. Champagne, 17 and 7. De'Aaron Fox, 10 point. Stephon Castle, 17 point. Derek Harper, uh, 18, 18 points. And Johnson, 11 points. So, yes, like a close game, but all those five stars got double digit. And the two player on the bench has double digits too. So next, I think this game probably could go to a 7. I think it could go to a 7 if the Timberwolves have Anthony Everett in the starting lineup, but it's probably going to be a close game in my opinion. In my opinion about this game. If you think you wonder if I will talk about the stat about the team, I'll do it in the conference between conference final and NBA final. So don't worry about that. I'm going to do it in the conference final or on the final. So don't worry about that. And I know this podcast is not going to be long because I'm busy. I'm so busy because for I didn't say it to nobody, but um, I'm moving. I'm moving away from this house. In this house that I live with my mom. So don't worry about that. If I'll give you the news on social media if there will be a podcast once I move once I move from this apartment. So next next game we were talking about is the Detroit Pistons versus the Cavaliers. Piston won, lead by 1-0, 111 to 101. So let's start with the stat between the of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Uh, James Harden and Donovan Mitchell both have 20 plus points. Donovan Mitchell with 23 points. James Harden with 22 points. And Evan Mobley with 14 points. Jaron Allen, he was non existent. Max Struss, 19 points from the bench. Compared to the to the Detroit Pistons, King Cunningham got 23 points. Duncan Robinson, 19 points. Jalen Duran, 11 points and 12 rebounds. Tobias Harris, 20 and 8. I think it's Amir Aman. Azar Thompson, 11 points. Jenkins, 12 points from the bench. I think this game could be an interesting game. Yes, game. Like I said about the same thing with the Cleveland with the Sixers and Knicks. Yes, fatigue is real because you're playing a brutal game 7. But like I said, sometimes it can be dismantling. Sometimes it can be a little bit of close that everybody thinks of. So, so I hope game 2 the Cavs wake up. Sorry, sorry about that. But I think I think that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden in game 2 they're going to step up. Jerry Allen needs to step up and 14 point with Ivan Mobley. I can take it because he's not like a scoring threat. I'll be honest with you, in my opinion. But don't underestimate the player, this man, because that guy can probably drop 20 plus point, a couple of rebounds too. Final game of the second semifinal of the second round, the Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma win 108 to 90 with LeBron James was 27.4 rebounds, 6 assists. Rui Hachimura, 18 points. DeAndre Ayton, 10 of 12. I'm not surprised. Marcus Smart, 12 points. Compared to the Lakers, compared to the OKC, SGA, 18.2 rebounds, 6 assists. Mitchell 18 and 2. Uh, Chet Holmgren 24 and 12, and McCain 12 points. I mean, OKC. I said this. I'm not surprised OKC won this because there's no way the Lakers will win this series with or without Luka or with or without Austin Reeves. They had no chance because the youth is very, very, very impressive compared to Lakers who are very, I would say, not old, but it's up there. Up there, it's like they're very old, but not that old. And I also worry. This is why I said I didn't say this. If I did, I have to look at it again. It's that you can't rely on LeBron James at 41 years old because if you do, I'll be worried that he get injured or he'll be out of gas. So I'm pretty much worried about that, in my opinion. But do I think they can bounce back game two? I think so. I think they can bounce back because they don't want to lose home court advantage. Because if they do, probably they could get one. I'll be honest with you, but with their youth, I mean OKC with their youth, SGA, and I'm probably not gonna be surprised if you win another MVP, back to back MVP. I'm not gonna be surprised. I'll be honest with you, but but I will say this that that if they get swept, I don't want to hear about the. I don't want because I don't give a fuck. I'll be honest with you. I don't give a fuck about the GOAT conversation because it's so lame and it's so boring at the same time that that if LeBron James gets swept, this is not gonna be on him because he has performed well. It's gonna be about people like DeAndre Ayton who doesn't show up. Luca get injured. After Reeves got injured. So on and so forth. They're gonna make a lot of excuse. So I don't want to hear no gold conversation. So thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Make sure that to follow this podcast on my, like I said, on my YouTube channel, on my Spotify, Apple Podcast, Apple Music. Follow me on social media. Will be download description. That being said, thank you very much. I will record game two after the next probably Friday morning. Friday morning, what I am. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.